And speaking of that, what is the truth behind you, Adam, Akademiks, doing an award show for YouTube?
It's not that we have gotten together and said that we're going to do an award show. Like, I remember when that headline came out, I'm like, this is the first time hearing about this, but sure, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that Adam and Akademiks were on a live stream together, and they said something of that sort. But I think it's more so, it's not that we're actually planning on putting something together. I think it's more so like, it would just be nice to have something that recognized like the actual people that are actually moving the needle and not the bullshit that like the BET Hip Hop Awards just did, where Carisha won for the second year in a row and she's only dropped 4 interviews for the entire year. And then like, you know, like me and Adam went down like the nominees of the best hip hop platform, and it's like you got Gillian Wallow, which makes sense, or Nori, that makes sense. But then you got Rap Caviar. Like, the fuck? Yeah. That's a fucking playlist.
Nah.
What's that even doing in the fucking list?
Yeah.
Carisha, please, 4 interviews. You know what I mean? All Hip Hop and Hip Hop DX, which are both platforms that I like, but all they do is repost other people's material.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're aggregators. They're not actually creating original content like that. Or if they are, it's not content that's going viral like an Akademiks or a Vlad TV interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, name a more important interview in 2023 than my Keefe D interview.
Yeah.
You can't. This is why Piers Morgan is reaching out to me and NPR is reaching out to me to do interviews, because this is global impact. But I don't even get nominated. Akademiks doesn't get nominated. Adam doesn't get nominated.
That's crazy.
Like, okay, if we don't win, okay, but we're not even getting nominated.
That's crazy.
So I think that was more of a conversation that they were having, that they've touched on to me a couple of times, and it's like, yeah, sure, I'm down to do whatever y'all want to do, but it's like, what these platforms like BET are doing are just a little bit silly.
Yeah, because I brought that up to Adam, I think, my second interview.
Huh.
Because the first one we did hit 1 million in, I think, a day or 2 days.
Yeah.
Because he dropped the whole fucking thing. He didn't even clip it. And it was like 2 hours. And then it's at like 4 million views right now. It's one of his biggest interviews in the last couple of years on his platform. I was like, bro, you need to do like a fucking award show or something for like whatever biggest interviews, whatever. And then I said with the Trap Lord Ross video that he dropped on King Von, that documentary was crazy. The amount of attention, the amount of detail, just editing my own shit, knowing how much work that took to put something together like that. Like, to me, I felt like that deserved something, you know what I mean? So I think it would be dope if y'all would be able to get something, put something together.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it may happen, it may not happen, but I think that ultimately there needs to be some sort of mechanism that actually is based on some level of reality.
Yeah.
At least look at the views.
Because Carisha got something to do with BET, doesn't she?
Well, she's dating Puffy.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
you know, that part.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I mean, like
we know how that works.
You know how that works.
Yeah.
You know, like, for example, like, I went on a Breakfast Club the other day, like a few days ago, and I'm looking at the views that I got from my interview. It's higher than Offset. It's higher than Stephen A. Smith. It's approaching Puffy's numbers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, no one messes with me, but when I do an interview on this platform, I'm outshining all these so-called A-list level celebrities, but yet what? No one listens to Vlad, no one cares about Vlad, but look at the numbers that are being pulled.
That's bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I padding the numbers? Am I creating fake comments? Like, I don't do none of that shit. Like, the numbers are the fucking numbers, and I feel like when you have these awards, no one looks at the numbers. The only accurate list I've ever seen was what Complex did. They had like a media power list. And I think I was number 9 on that list. And I'm like, okay, that's a fair number for me. I'll be top 10. That's cool. You know what I mean? When I looked overall, like, most of the people on that list made sense. But you got these award shows. I mean, even Nori was like, what the fuck? Because last year, Nori had to share the win with Carisha. It was like Carisha and Drink Champs. And this year it was just Carisha.
I've never watched none of her shit. I think G Herbo was on there.
G Herbo was on.
I think Ari going around fucking Instagram. But other than that,
I'm not saying she does bad interviews. Like, she's cool at what she does, but you're mostly a rapper and you're doing this on the side, and you got 4 interviews in a year. you're competing against people, you know, I mean,
Not
me
really
and Joe
working.
don't get along, but Joe puts out a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it makes sense that Joe Budden's on that list. Like, I get it. Like, me and him don't get along, but I'm not going to take away from the work and the impact that he has.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake is affected by what Joe was saying. And, you know, Charlemagne, you know, Breakfast Club should be on that list, which it is.
Yeah.
Charlemagne is affecting how things are moving. But, like, 4 interviews?
Shit, I'm affecting how shit's moving.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
They
saying.
can give me the most hated title.
There you go.
The, title,
the most
you know
hated. Yeah, exactly. Something.
Fuck
But
I'll
you
take it.
you at least gotta look at the fucking numbers.
You gotta acknowledge it.
You gotta look at the numbers. You can't just go with who you like. You know, and I think a lot of us are like, well, we don't like Vlad. So we're just not gonna add him to the list.
Well, fuck it. We gotta.
You know what I mean? Or Vlad's white. So it's a BET Award, so we're not gonna put him on the list. But like, look at like, you know, I've interviewed Smokey Robinson this year. I've interviewed Dominique Wilkins. I've interviewed, you know, Leo Cohen. The interview's coming out. You know, Leo is like essentially the most powerful human in the music industry. He's the head of YouTube Music Global, right? You know, you don't just get there. You know, I'm interviewing people of this caliber, and yet I'm not even nominated.
Yeah.
So it's just a little silly.
That's crazy.
But I just assume that that's just the way it is, and I keep it moving. You know, I'm not the one that brings it up.